Hi, here are the stages of development by Erin and Jayda. First up, we have Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. Our first stage is infancy, which is our first year life. During this time, babies are torn between trusting and mistrusting their parents. If a child is unable to meet this trust, they could become suspicious and fearful of their parents. Our second stage is toddler, which is our second year. Since children are growing physically, they learn to hold and manipulate objects. If children tend to fail at mastering these skills at this stage, the child can experience self-doubt throughout their life. Our next stage is preschooler, which is from ages 3 to 5. At this stage, children are learning to initiate tasks and try new projects, which is the initiative portion. However, if children are unable to take initiative, they can develop strong feelings of guilt or unworthiness. Next up is elementary school, from ages 6 up to puberty. In this elementary stage, children encounter a new set of expectations which can help guide them to be fully functioning adults. If children are unable to meet these expectations, they are likely to feel inferior and inadequate. Next is our adolescent stage, which is from our late teen years to early 20s. In this stage, we tend to face identity versus role confusion. A critical part after facing puberty is seeking your identity. Failing at finding a sense of identity can lead to role confusion. Moving on, our next stage is young adulthood, which is from ages 20 to our early 40s. At this stage in life, adults learn to be physically and emotionally intimate with each other, which can be as simple as marriage. Failure at intimacy can result in isolation and loneliness. In middle adulthood, from ages 40 to 60, the main focus is to stay productive. For people who have successfully made it through the past 6 stages, they are likely to find meaning in their lives, compared to those who live with stagnation, life becoming a lack of activity, growth, or meaning. Our last psychosocial stage of development is late adulthood, from ages 16 up. At this age, people are coming to terms with the approach of death. For those who have full maturity from earlier stages have integrity and face death. For those who are not ready, they face despair. Next up, we have Piaget's stages of cognitive development. From birth to 2 years old, children experience the sensory motor stage, experiencing the world through senses and actions. Big milestones in the stage are that children can come to terms with our object permanence and stranger anxiety. Object permanence is where a child believes something still exists even if things with it is not in their direct sight. Stranger anxiety is where a child is approached by a complete stranger and they react with crying, even if the stranger isn't to their parents. Our next stage is from ages 2 to 6, and that is the pre-operational stage. At this age, children represent things with words and pictures but don't have logical reasoning yet. One milestone that developed is pretend play, which involves imagination and thinking in a child. Another is language development, where children can start to form their own sentences. Our third stage is from ages 6 to 11, and this is the concrete operational stage. In this stage, children can logically think about concrete events and perform arithmetic operations and use metaphors and analogies. Developmental milestones are mathematical transformations and logical thought, which could be analogies. Our last stage of cognitive development is from ages 12 all the way to adulthood, which is the formal operational stage. At this point, individuals explore concrete and abstract concepts as well as thinking through the future or recalling the past. An example of this could simply be moral reasoning, where a teen can understand that simply if they don't study for a test and play on their phone instead, it could result in a bad grade for them. Now, lastly, we have Kohlberg stages of moral development, right versus wrong. For Kohlberg, there are levels. First up is level 1, pre-conventional morality. Our stage 1 in level 1 is obedience and punishment orientation. At this stage, children assume that authorities, which could be parents, teachers, or any guardians in their life, set down a set of fixed rules that they must follow and obey. An example of this is that a child may know that stealing a candy bar could lead to a punishment that has been made clear by their authority figures. Stage 2 and level 1 is individualism and exchange. Compared to stage 1, children in stage 2 have declared that punishment is a risk that should be avoided. Another main part of stage 2 is that fair exchange with others, simply as, if you do this, I'll do that, is learned. Next up is level 2, conventional morality. Stage 3 is good interpersonal relationships. At this stage, children are approaching teenagers and believe that people should live up to the expectations of their family, community, and show positive behavior which is driven by good motives and interpersonal feelings shown. A good motive could simply be good grades, doing community work, anything like that. Stage 4 is maintaining the social order. This stage is shown where the respondent becomes more concerned with the needs of the society and fulfilling them, as well as following the rules. Now we're at level 3, stage 5. Level 3 is post-conventional morality. Stage 5 is social contract and individual rights. Here, people believe that a good society is made up of a social contract of what is good for the society as a whole and how everyone can work towards the benefit of all. Lastly, stage 6 is our universal principles. Contrasting off stage 5, stage 6 is where we are able to achieve justice for ourselves and society, which could easily be displayed by voting for the society and its choices. And that is all. Erikson, Piaget, and Kohlberg stages of development. Thank you for watching.